Well, hey, my beautiful humans. Welcome back to the Reach Out Recovery Podcast, the show where healing isn't boring, science is sexy, and you are never alone in the struggle. Well, today's episode, ooh, okay, get ready because it's one many of us have lived but never fully understood: emotional eating. You know, when you're sobbing into a bag of chips or standing in front of the fridge like it's the gateway to inner peace. Well, today, honey, we are going to break it down: why we do it, what it's doing to our brains and bodies, how to actually stop the cycle. And yes, we've got real stories, real science, and really practical tips to help you rewrite the pattern. All right. Well, let me bring up my co host, the wonderful Lindsey Glass. Hi, Lindsey. How are you?
Good, Grace. How are you?
I am doing great. I'm excited to talk about emotional eating because, oh my God, don't we all do that? I mean, who doesn't? I
Yes.
don't know anybody who doesn't do it.
Listen, I am an emotional eater. I'm an eater in general. I'm
Yes.
a sort of a recovering overeater. I've restricted, but honestly, eating is a thing. So I'm really excited to delve into this, and I'm going to tell the story of what happened to me in one of my bouts of emotional
Mhm.
eating. So, but let's start with, why do we eat our feelings? I mean, that's the big question.
Absolutely. Let me put that up. That's going to be our segment number one.
Oh, okay. I'm jumping right in. Sorry,
That's
I
no,
didn't mean
that's fine.
to get.
Listen, there's no format. We're just two girls talking here. That's all about eating what we shouldn't eat.
Yeah, which
Yeah,
is, and I don't know why it's my favorite thing to do, and it goes beyond like what I'm not supposed to eat. I want to eat things that I know aren't going to make me feel good,
I
even though
know.
there's proof that I'm not going to feel good from it. It's like I'm going to experiment. I'm still
Yeah.
doing research.
And let me tell you, it's so weird because Uber Eats, I spend so much. I'm not going to say an amount because it's embarrassing, but I spend so much money because it's my way to treat myself like, ooh, okay, I don't want to cook. I worked hard today. I need to
I have to
treat
tell you,
myself. Yeah.
that's a trap, Grace, though, because I used to do that, and I
Yes.
don't. I have a rule about that stuff anymore.
Tell me, how do you do it?
It was a very hard habit to break, and I have to say, when I was thinking about this episode, one of the things that occurred to me that I wanted to share was one of the ways I broke the eating habit was with my ex, who did meal
Ooh.
plans. So we were on meal plans for years. And that is one of
Ah.
the things that completely eliminated, it eliminates your ability to be like, "Oh, there's nothing to eat tonight." There is something to eat, and there's a meal
Always.
there that is the right amount. It's the right amount of calories. You've
Mm-hmm.
chosen it, so you know it's something you're not gonna hate,
Yes.
and it actually took years of doing that with him, and he was an elite runner, very concerned about his health, and that was the first time I had been with somebody who was constantly monitoring what they
Wow.
ate, and it was a blessing and a curse. It was a curse because it was
Yeah.
ongoing, and in the first year, I really hated him for it,
I
but
know, right? You got resentful
but
because it's
here's the
like you're
thing,
telling me
Grace.
what to do, right? No.
I know, but he broke some habits that I
That's
had
good.
been unable, and one of them was when I was living in Hollywood, and I'd had a really tough week at work or whatever it was, and, like, I would order whatever it was, Uber Eats or whatever the delivery was for those places, 25 Degrees, that burger place, and that deep dish pizza place,
Wow.
and
Well,
I was soothing with food.
absolutely. Well, you know what I did when I was doing my cancer treatment? I treated myself to steak and potatoes every day from Lala's. I spent thousands of dollars. I didn't want to cook, so that's excusable, right?
Yeah,
But
that's
then
different.
that's different. So then started being vegan, and I wanted to learn how to cook vegan and how to make stuff that's only plant based. And then I got lazy. And so I started ordering like a lot of vegan food because, it's like the calories are not there.
Yeah.
So I order a lot. And now, even though I still order Uber Eats, I order less, like half. So my bill is not that high. And I also pick my meals very carefully,
Right.
like very, very healthy stuff that, yes, emotionally is going to make me feel good, but it's good for me. So that way I don't gain weight, because for me, gaining weight is nothing. Listen,
Right.
I gained 30 pounds during chemo. Nobody gains weight during chemo but me. I got fat. I got
Wow.
so fat. I'm telling you, I was wobbling to chemo. I was like,
So I was gonna listen, I was gonna tell this story later, but when I got sober at the age of 21,
yes.
and I'd had a serious, serious substance abuse problem at
Yeah,
21.
we know.
And I went and I went to treatment, and I, in the span of a year, went from 95 pounds to probably like 145 pounds.
Wow.
And I'm not a tall person, so that was quite a bit of weight on me. And I remember like I was a senior in college, and this guy I had dated, I saw him, and he saw me. He goes, "Yeah, I heard you chunked up a bit." And
Oh shit.
it's like 30 years later, 20 years later.
Geez, thank you.
It was
Thank you
like
so
the
much.
most dramatic. And you know what? That began my weight loss. But for me, it was, I put down the drugs and alcohol, I put down the
Yeah.
substances and the you know whats, and I
Yes.
picked up the candy. I was craving candy. I was craving anything.
Yes. Well,
Um,
that's another thing. I love that you're saying craving candy, because a lot of people have that sugar addiction.
yes,
I did, and I excused myself. Hey, I'm hypoglycemic, so I need sugar.
right.
So you can start replacing
Yes,
bad sugars. Refined sugars are not healthy for you, right? Anything over 10 grams, not good. So
yeah,
I started replacing them with fruits, and
yes,
like coconut cream on the fruits that doesn't have any additional sugar added to it. And I'm telling you now, I order, instead of like cheesecake or whatever, I
yeah,
order from, I'm not going to say the name of the place, but it's very, very healthy. And I order an acai bowl, and that to me is dessert. It has like
yeah,
almond butter, it has acai, it has like all kinds of berries, which are great for for your immunity. So I started to be very mindful, and this is an important thing. Be mindful of the macronutrients, micronutrients, the vitamins and minerals that you have during the day, because that's what's going to keep you healthy,
yeah.
and it's going to actually help you fight disease. So, but that takes time. Now I have to get away from Uber Eats and keep the healthy at
Yeah,
home only, right? Because
totally.
girl, thousands of dollars. What the hell? I'm going to
Well,
have to,
that's for me, it became a budget thing too. So we're
yeah.
gonna get to that. But I want to back up and get back to the why are we doing this? Like, what
Okay,
is the
go for it.
psychology between it? So this actually has nothing to do with willpower. Uh,
Oh,
it has to do with other things. So the first thing, if for those who are aware, I'm repeating some information, but sometimes it's just good to hear it. For those who aren't, it's really important to understand that when you are eating sugar or fatty foods, your brain is releasing dopamine.
mhm.
So this is the same pleasure chemical that is triggered by,
Schmecks.
yes, I was wondering how we say that on YouTube. Um, Smecks, substances, and even Instagram likes.
Ooh.
Yeah. So it's not weakness, it's a neurobiology. It's cortisol and stress. According to Harvard Health, stress also spikes cortisol, which can increase cravings for carbs and comfort food.
Well, why don't we talk a little bit about the hormones, right? That dopamine rush. I personally get that, yes, from food, obviously, and also from like dating, like being in that initial part of the romantic thing where you like,
Absolutely.
ooh, right? And there's more hormones that are involved in that. So um, you have to be really careful. And also when you go do stand up, like I do, and you get the laughs, a lot of people get addicted to that. I'm not addicted to that because I have like deaf ears. I don't even care. Um, I'm at the point where I really don't care. It doesn't make a difference. If you laugh, you laugh. If you don't, that's fine. I get my paycheck and I'm gone. And then cortisol and stress. Well, we're living in such stressful
Yes.
times, Lindsay.
Yes. I listen, my mom and I were making chocolates last night. We've been making pies, but again, I'm going to talk about how we're doing it because
Hmm.
instead of going to the candy store and buying, I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
It's like $50 to buy the amount
Oh,
of chocolates that for $5 we're buying, and we made a TikTok of it last night. I have to post it. But
nice.
the pure dark chocolate, and then we dip
Hmm.
it, we make the things, and for what would have cost at least $50, we made homemade chocolates last night that have, are so much better for you, so much. But I'm moving away from the issue, which is we're stressed.
Oh, we're so stressed. But chocolate is not away from the issue because chocolate actually is one of the things that it spikes your hormones. I don't remember which ones, but it's a very, very much a comfort food. And it also has caffeine, doesn't it? So it
Yes.
spikes. Yeah. So that's good that you did that because you were taking
Yes.
care of yourself. And cortisol and stress, even if you don't eat, like you get the cortisol belly, which is so annoying because it doesn't matter what you eat.
So explain what that is, because I hadn't heard about that until recently.
Oh, okay. Well, it's the belly that goes from under your breasts all the way from above. You know what? It's like I look on the side in the mirror. I'm like, what just happened?
Oh my God.
Like,
Yeah.
what the hell? So yeah, it's there and it's staying. And unless you really wind down and it's good for that. I don't know what you do, Lindsay, but what I do is in the morning I listen to like HZ frequency music, like 432 and 528 HZs. I highly recommend it, guys. And it kind of relaxes me and it
Mm.
gets me into a more of a state of being that's not the the
Right.
anxiety and the stress. I try not to watch the news. Well, I never really watch the news. If I watch to see what's happened, I watch my favorite podcast, Like I've Had It. You guys need to subscribe to that. It's so hysterical. These two
Yeah.
women that are so fun. I mean, I just love them to pieces. Midas Touch. I mean, all the ones that are independent. So we get the news for real.
Yeah.
So, and it's fun because they make it fun too. That helps a lot. But yeah, staying away from like the news, and staying away from going into a downward spiral. What's happening? What's going on now? Just the uncertainty of life.
You're saying something really important. I don't want to forget,
Yes.
which is one of the tips that's really really important when you're trying to do mindful eating, and we'll talk about it more later. But you have to set your day up right. So if you're like myself, Grace, we've joked about this a lot, but mornings are really really tough.
Yes.
And there are actual things one can do every morning that can start the day in a stress relieving way instead of
Hmm.
a stress increasing way. And I have all the compassion in the world out there for you parents of little kids, teenagers. My nieces were here, and literally all you want to do is eat,
I know.
and all you're doing is taking care of kids, and the kids need to get
Yeah.
in the car, and the last thing you're thinking about is, am I having a healthy breakfast? You're like, all right, everybody in the car, we're going to Starbucks, you can have whatever you want. Shut up.
Yeah, just shut up.
Yeah, I don't want to dismiss, Grace and I were in California, we're in Florida, we're like, so we like to wake up slowly and take a long meadow with our animals and listen to our nice sounds. Like, yeah, it's all nice and well, if you're
But
having
not for people. Well, this is that's great that you're saying that. And so this is not for people that have children. This is for the single ones. The people that have children, I don't know. Maybe in the comments you can let us know, what do you do to release stress? Maybe wake up a little earlier, go to the gym or run. I don't know if you have the energy, but I wouldn't. I don't know how people with kids do it. I honestly have no idea. Even when I was younger, I didn't want to do it, obviously, because I don't have kids. But I don't know how they do it. How do they do it? You guys,
I
let us know
don't
in the
know. I
comments.
don't. I'm not the one to talk to you about this, but
Yeah,
I
I know.
think it's not just parenting. I think you can have a high stress job. I think, when I was talking about ordering the Uber Eats, I was in a
Yes.
job where I was being, not treated very well. So that was a big treat for me.
Yeah.
Boss wasn't nice to me. I'm going to have something good to eat.
Yes.
So I do think anytime you're overwhelmed, stressed, I think, and the other thing is, it's very easy to think, oh, it's not schmalcohol. It's not, some kind of like it's not as bad as it could be. It's very
Yeah.
easy to think like this is just food. Um,
Right.
so, and I've said that at times as a person in recovery, when I've been knee deep, 2 spoonful deep in ice cream and cake, and I'll joke, I don't have anything else. But that's not like, if you're actually focused on your wellness, that's not an adequate thing to say. So,
Yes, and actually, it's fun that you talked about the parents because the next point is childhood conditioning.
yes.
Many of us were soothed with snacks, like "Stop crying, here's a cookie, shut up."
And cultural, add the cultural piece to it. I'm Jewish, you're Latina.
Yeah.
Like, that's what we do. We eat. The Italians.
Oh, girl! Every time I went to eat at my of Italian descent, she wasn't Italian per se, but she cooked, my grandmother. Oh my God, I would go after school just for her food. And she would be like, "Why you not eating? Come on, eat,
Right.
eat." And I would be like, "Oh my God." And I would be happy. And she
Yeah,
would cook the steaks because, Italians put olive oil in everything. She
yeah.
would cook the steak and then put olive oil on it. Everything had olive oil. My mom would go crazy. It's like, she doesn't need to gain more weight.
But, food is love. And
It is.
look at art, in the old days, those ladies weren't rail thin, that was love. That was wealth that you had a little bit of meat on your bones.
That is true. I don't know why the skinny thing now, but all bodies are beautiful. That's my whole thing.
Yes.
And you have to learn to love your body in spite of what society says you should look like.
I think it comes down to health.
Yeah. You're
What's
right.
a weight where you feel healthy? I remember when I started, my ex really got me onto good eating habits, and I will be forever grateful for him for that. And then it was actually a cancer scare probably a year ago or a year and a half ago that kind of got me to see, oh, maybe all this sugar isn't so good. And when we
Yes.
talk about mindful eating, I'm going to remind people to think about what you're actually putting into your body,
Yeah.
because when they said to me, hey, you've got inflammation, sugar can cause this and
Oh
cancer
yeah.
can go in that. I
Yeah.
was like, wait, what?
I know.
That's a different reality check. Do you want cancer? I don't. I mean, you've had it.
Oh, no,
And
you do not want it. Believe me.
there
It's
you go.
no fun at all. And
Right.
like I said, the sugar, which I think 90% of people have a sugar craving,
Yeah.
most people do, and just replace it with fruits. It's
Yeah.
all about acquiring new taste. And I have done that to the point where, like, refined sugar and something, if it has a lot, it grosses me out and I
It
can't
tastes
even,
weird to you now. Yeah. After a
it's
while, it'll change to you.
disgusting.
But I wanna get back to the family conditioning thing for a minute, because this was something I had a big issue with my mom. Um, when I was little, she wanted to feed me. Then when I got a little older, and I wasn't even chubby, but there definitely was more. Watch what you eat. Watch what you eat. Don't eat that Coke. Don't drink that Coke. Don't do this, do that. And we had a lot of control issues around food.
Mhm.
So I want to say, it's very easy if you're from a family of eaters to be eating all the time.
Yeah.
If you're from a family of restrictors, to be restricting all the time. Sometimes your rebellion is to do the opposite of your family. But I do want to say this is where boundaries come in. If you are from a family of eaters, or you want to be comfortable eating what you want to be, this is where it really becomes important to say to the people around you,
Mhm.
hey, I'm following a health plan right now because I'm either committed to getting healthy, or, I have certainly have had friends that have struggled with eating disorders. And there have been moments where we have gathered as a friend group and we have said, we're not going to say anything to her about this. We are going to encourage her, to keep, because there's so much dysmorphia. Sometimes
Absolutely.
you're telling somebody to not eat or keep eating, and they're not seeing what you're seeing.
Yeah.
So how do you really be supportive to people? And a little bit of work goes into that, figuring out what you're trying to do for your health and then sharing with the people around you, hey, this is how you can support me. You
Exactly.
cannot comment as I gain weight. Because, I remember we'd like send pictures, be like, she gained some weight. Nobody say anything.
My mom would be like, Graciela, I don't want to tell you, but your butt is really big right now. Well, you didn't want to tell me. What did you tell me, Mom? The mixed messages were crazy. No, it was.
And that's another thing, mixed messages. Keep
Yeah,
going.
it's like, this is my body. And it's like, ah, you look like your father. Listen. It's like,
Oh,
that's not my fault, girl. You're skinny. I'm not. So what? Let it go.
so it's a really big thing,
Yeah.
and here's another thing. If I'm hanging out with people who are eaters, I will eat. If I'm hanging out with people who are eating salads, I will eat salads. And it's not about wanting to fit in. It's about,
Being influenced.
yes, I am easily influenced. If somebody says,
I'm
hey,
not.
Lindsay, you want to go get some pancakes? I'm like, I do. I really want to go get some pancakes.
That's so funny. I am not easily influenced. Like when I became Whole Foods plant-based, it's like, I will not, if somebody's eating meat or animal products, I will not fall into that for some reason.
But you made a decision.
Yeah, I made a very clear decision.
And
No
how do you
refined
stick to
sugars.
it? How do you stick to it?
Because I'm scared of getting sick
Cancer.
again.
So I heard somebody say, and this has been something true I've known for decades because of recovery.
Yes.
People don't really don't take this the wrong way. People don't really care about things until it happens to them.
Oh yeah, of
So
course.
I remember
Absolutely.
trying to raise money for recovery, and people were like, "We don't have that here." And then
That's right.
kids in the community, something happens, and there's a total, "Oh, it's happened here. Now we need to raise money for recovery." And it's the same thing. Like I wouldn't have told you I was going to give up. I love candy, and I love gummy candy, and
You
I
can
really
replace it with fruit.
totally.
For
But
real.
I wasn't willing to give it up until a
I know.
doctor said to me, you might be a cancer risk. And I
Yeah,
was like,
no, that's not
well,
good.
I'm in my 40s. I don't want that. I'm not ready for
No,
that. So
no, you're never ready for that.
no.
Never. It doesn't matter if you're in your 50s, 60s, 40s, 70s, 80s, 90s, it doesn't matter. Nobody's ready for that. It's horrific. But
Yeah,
yeah, no, you're right. It's like it happened to me. And of course, you change your habits.
that's right.
You have to.
Yes.
If you don't, then I know people that while they're dealing with lung cancer and they're smoking. It's like,
Yeah. Yeah.
why are you doing that to yourself?
Right.
It's during my treatment. Don't get me wrong. I fattened myself on purpose. So I ate everything I wanted. But then after that, I knew I had to change my eating habits, even though they were not bad. And I did exercise because I teach swimming. So I'm like always working out. But I made it a point and like, oh yeah, the working out part is fine, but the food, I need to make some changes. I
Yeah.
need to eat stuff that fights cancer. There's a lot of vegetables that fight cancer and fruits to boost your immune system. So I eat differently every time I look at food and I eat, let's say, the acai bowl. I'm like, this is great. I have some fat with the almond butter. That's good for my brain, that I need that. I have berries, which are great for your immune system. I have acai, which is a superfood. You want to eat superfoods at least 3-4 times a week. So as I eat that, my feeling of I am nourishing my body and I'm honoring my body is so much stronger than I want to eat candy or a piece of cake like I did before. It's just a mindset, I think.
I was just going to say, mindset and being mindful, and we'll talk about what being mindful actually means on a daily basis. But I
Yes.
think mindset is everything. One of
Yes.
the things that really helped me is we eat to fuel our bodies.
Right. And they don't need
That's
that
what
much
food
food.
is for.
I know.
You actually know the amount of food a human being needs to stay alive. If you saw what they were eating 100 years ago, 200 years ago,
Yeah.
and don't get me wrong, I had a cinnamon bun this big this weekend, but 200 years ago, nobody was having a 2,000 calorie. It did not come from the Cinnabon place. My mom made it. But
Go,
so anyway,
Leslie.
I know but here's the thing, we're stressed, and what we do
Yes.
as a stress reliever is we cook. I think the reason we feel so comfortable eating all this, richer food that we're eating is, one, we know what we're putting in it. And
Yes.
we're big on replacement. So we'll
Yes.
use different kinds of sugars. We're not using white sugar all the time in this
Yes.
baking stuff. And
Yep.
honestly, when you're using really good flour and when you're using your own, you ever go to Europe, bread doesn't make you sick, like certain things, you could just eat it. It's
Oh,
completely different. It tastes different. Your body reacts to it.
absolutely. Yeah, like when I lived in Argentina, I was really skinny. I can show you pictures. Like I was so skinny. And then I came here the first year I came to the US, I gained 30 pounds and I couldn't figure out why. And I was a competitive swimmer and I gained
Right.
30 pounds. How is that possible?
And what's
And
in our food?
when Oh, it's horrible. Whenever I went back to Argentina, it truly is. I went back to Argentina. I ate the same types of food that my mom made. We went out to eat. We did everything I do here. And in 2 weeks, Lindsay, I would lose 10 pounds. How is
Yeah.
that possible? It takes me a year to lose 10 pounds here.
My friend went to one of those crazy fancy places where you go for like 2 weeks and they do everything for you.
Nice.
And like you're put on this crazy diet. Same thing. When
Yeah.
you actually do that, you can't control what you eat. You're only putting your body, she came back and but it's the same thing. She came back, she'd lost 10 pounds, felt better than she'd ever felt in her life, but
Yep.
it doesn't last. Like if you're not having somebody help you do this kind of stuff, it's really hard to maintain. So we're going to talk about like tips to maintain.
Absolutely. Well, before we do that,
Go
uh,
ahead.
let's read a fan story and then we'll show a video. So, Megan from Chicago, this is a fan story. She says, every time I got overwhelmed at work, I'd find myself knee deep in peanut butter. That is such a comforting food. I didn't even realize I was doing it. It felt like I was blacking out with a spoon. Same. I used to do the peanut butter stuff with I would just dig in it and I
Yeah.
would count the calories because every like 2 tablespoons or something, it has like 200 calories per tablespoon. That would be like 3,000 calories. It's okay. 4,000 calories. And I would just keep doing it. I have a friend who actually had a stroke after she ate a whole thing of peanut butter. She never ate peanut butter again. She blamed peanut butter for the stroke, like a
I
mini stroke. I know.
That's crazy. I used to stick the dark chocolate bar into the peanut butter.
Oh, that's delicious.
So
Oh
it
my God.
all starts with peanut butter.
Oh, it's making me hungry. But let me show a video
Okay.
first, and then we'll move on. I'm going to show a video about a merch that I have on the stateofgraceshop.com called Positive Affirmations. I thought that would be a fun, video to show today. So here we go. Let me actually. I'm doing all the engineering, so I have to like stay smiling and be like handling all this stuff. Okay. Every moment is a chance to inspire, uplift, and thrive. What better way to start your day than with a mug that's more than just a mug? It's your muse. Sip your coffee, tea, or hot cocoa while sipping on some self-love with Positive Affirmations mugs for you. Your hat isn't just an accessory. It's your daily reminder to shine bright and vibe high. With our Positive Affirmations headwear for you, every step you take spreads love, joy, and confidence. From self-love is your superpower to dream big and create your own story, our mugs and headwear remind you to keep thriving one positive affirmation at a time. Your vibe attracts your tribe. So let your mug and your muse inspire the world. Positive affirmations, mugs, and headwear for you. Start your journey of positivity today because you're worth it. Always. All right. So let's move on to segment 2. Ta-da!
Okay, fantastic. Segment 2 is we're asking the question, are you hungry or are you triggered? This is there's a big difference. So here is a radical truth. Emotional hunger isn't your stomach, it's your heart.
Oh, well, how is that?
So we're going to talk about the difference between physical hunger and emotional hunger. Okay. So physical hunger, it comes on gradually. Okay. You sort of, and listen, when I'm hangry, but it doesn't start there. It starts with, oh, wait, I'm starting to get hungry. I forgot to eat. And then
It's all in the head too.
yeah,
Like sometimes I'm not hungry and I'm like, oh, I think I need to eat. I haven't eaten in a few hours. And then my stomach is like, yeah, you're right. Like I start being hungry after I think it.
yeah. So apparently emotional hunger is that sort of feeling that comes on. It's very urgent.
Mm-hmm.
It's very sudden. Now, here's the other thing. This is a big one. And I really, as an emotional eater, as a night eater, I snack well beyond being full.
Yeah.
So really, really, and my mom and I were talking about it. There's some rule to this. I can't remember. We read about it, but you're only supposed to fill your stomach up a certain amount. You're not supposed to fill your stomach all the way up every time. So physical hunger will be satisfied by a meal. You're satisfied, you're done. Emotional hunger craves something specific. Like I'm going to sit here and now eat. So my big things lately, and these are my replacement foods, popcorn.
Ooh, but that's not that bad.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's not that bad,
Yeah, it's not
but
bad.
this is emotional eating. And I want to
Yeah.
be honest about it. I've got 2 different types. So I've got kettle corn and like some kind of cheese popcorn in 2 separate bowls. All right. This is an overeater speaking. And obviously
Totally.
I work out, I watch it all, but I still have this stuff. And
Yeah.
that's what it looks like. I've eaten dinner, I'm watching TV, I am not hungry, but I've eaten the popcorn and now my head goes, I need to finish it off with something sweet.
I know, right?
Literally, I'm like, something sweet. And now I've got a bowl of ice cream.
Yeah.
I ceased being hungry 30 minutes ago.
Yeah.
And I may even think as I'm eating the ice cream, you don't even really want this right now. It tastes good. So
Oh,
this is where mindful stuff comes in. And then the other big thing is emotional hunger often leads to guilt and shame. So there
yeah.
I wake up and the wrappers are there, or I see the bowls of ice cream and popcorn
Yeah.
and stink. And I think, how many calories did you eat after 7 p.m. last night?
Oh, yeah, that's a big one after 7 p.m. Like I try not to eat. And then all of a sudden at like 11, I'm like, ooh, I can't sleep because I'm hungry. But you know what I pick? I pick like, I buy cherries because I love their like little candies, so I eat cherries, sometimes little carrots or whatever. So I'm craving, I don't have like potato chips, for example, which I love the ones with avocado oil, by the way, Boulder. Those are the best. They're great. And or just something sweet. I don't have anything here at the house because I know when I buy it, I eat it all in one shot. Like if at 11 p.m. I'm like, ooh, I'm hungry, and I have, let's say, banana bread, I'll eat the whole banana bread.
Yeah.
Which is like 10,000 calories.
Yeah. So this is where, things like having a buddy,
Yeah.
being in a food program, having plotted out your meals. The other thing I do when I'm really serious, I don't keep this stuff in my house.
That's the best way to do it. But you know what I do when I order food first? Like now Whole Foods is going to deliver, and I ordered something salty and something sweet, which is like zucchini bread, and it's vegan. And then, but every time I'm like, it's vegan, it's okay, but it has calories. And
Yeah.
then potato chips, the ones that I told you about. So I bought the salt and sweet because I'm like, okay, once a week I'm gonna treat myself to that. But then after that is I'm on my there's nothing.
Yeah.
I have to go I have a sweet craving, I have to eat fruits. If I have a salty craving, carrots or broccoli or whatever. And you know what? I train my body to do that and it works.
Yeah. And this is all about training. It really
Yes.
is. And that's what I think so many of us don't realize. And that year of doing the meal plans, it wasn't fun.
I
It
know.
didn't feel good. But real lasting change
Yeah.
takes months and months
Yeah.
and months of work.
Yeah.
And in order to be able to do it, you have to take your own ability to ruin yourself out of the picture.
Yes.
That's why things like meal plans, going into a food program, even um, having I don't think it's a bad thing to get a food coach in these situations
Not
if
at
you're
all.
really struggling with it,
Yeah.
because you want somebody who has experience with this and can really help you find success with no shame. Because this is not something anyone wants to be shamed around. It's going to
Yeah.
happen when it happens.
Yes.
So when I was 25, my mother would have killed to have me eat the way I eat now. Guess what? It took what it took to get me
Yeah.
there,
Yeah.
but I got
Absolutely.
there. So
But you know what? Once you retrain your palate and your brain, like now I crave good foods.
yeah,
Like
me too.
my body, because once we take away the emotional part of it, the craving, your
Yeah,
body will let you know what you need.
right. But I want to go back to the fan story you put in this one, because I want us to talk about this a little bit. So first of all, another tip is always to do the HALT thing: hungry, angry, lonely,
Yes.
tired. But you have to do that in these kinds of situations. So the fan story is Luis from Miami. I realized every time I fought with my girlfriend, I'd drive to Taco Bell. I wasn't even hungry, just sad and scared and needing control.
Hmm.
So last night was the first time, probably in 5 years, I stopped and got fast food on the way home. And that is a habit I broke a long time ago. I happened to be at something last night. I didn't have time to stay and eat. And I realized on the way home I was hungry. I didn't have food in the house. But that is a trap.
Oh yeah.
You're on your way home, you're hungry, you've gotten in a fight with somebody. These are the behaviors that we get conditioned to when we are emotional eaters, that we think are like, I literally thought, well, this is going to be the quickest, easiest thing. And if it's gross, I'll just give some to the dog. But, of course it was gross. And like, it made me not feel good. And it's funny how you can even think these things as I'm driving there, but I still did it
Oh,
because
it
it was
doesn't matter.
least resistance.
Oh yeah, you convince yourself. So this is the exercise. Try the whole check-in, like you said. Are you hungry? A, B, angry, C, lonely, and D, tired.
Yeah. But also look at your patterns. Like,
Yes.
is Taco Bell a reward? So for me, it's fried chicken. I have loved fried chicken since I was a kid. I don't know, maybe my dad's from Texas, we love our ribs and our fried chicken,
Yeah.
but
It's in your DNA.
it's in my DNA. I've loved it since I was a kid. And, so that's a go-to for me. If I wanted like a really bad treat, fried chicken is really what I wanted. And it's not just the fried chicken, it's those dipping sauces and those
Ooh.
biscuits and the whole, but
Yeah.
like, look at what you love and think, is this something I'm doing really to give myself a little treat every now and then? Or is this a bad habit? And it
That's
does
true.
make me feel not good. And I am trying to watch my weight. The reality is there are lots of things that I love now that are pretty healthy, that are just as good a treat. They just require more work.
Yes.
So whether it's the crumble cookies, I remember in the pandemic, I had some stepkids in my life. And we were going and getting those bobas and those drinks every day. And I was like,
Mm.
why am I gaining weight? And it's
Gee, I
like,
wonder why.
I'm having a Jamba Juice this big every single day.
With 5,000 calories in it.
And that was our treat. We'd get to the afternoon and we'd be like, can we go out and get a Jamba Juice? Like, is COVID going to get us? And but again, that became the habit in COVID. How do we treat ourselves? And it's often through a food reward. So are you rewarding yourself with food? And could you be rewarding yourself with something else? Because it's
Exactly.
all about that mindset, Grace. Like, if you had
Absolutely.
called me last night while I was in the car, had I called you, and this is what a food coach is for, I'd have called you, it would have been like 6:30 in LA, it was like 9:30 here. I would have said, hey, I'm going to stop and grab some whatever on the way home. And you'd say, do you really want to do that? Because if I remember correctly, that makes you not feel good. It's really not good for you. And it's totally in contrast with the health plan you're working right now. And I would have said, ooh, you're right. And it's breaking the habit in that moment. Like, how are you going to remind yourself in that moment? And the mindset of, I want to create a cancer-free body. I want
Yes.
to create a body that doesn't want to pick up schmugs or schmalcohol because it's sated.
Yeah.
And for the people, if there is anyone in recovery watching, by the way, if you are not feeding and fueling yourself correctly, guess what your body wants? Those things.
Absolutely. Well, like cancer cells feed off, they're like scavengers. They feed
Right.
off of anything. So they feed off your hormones, your cell proteins. I had triple positive. So they fed off of my progesterone, estrogen, and the proteins in my cells. So it had nothing to do with food.
Right.
So, but food is, I think it's good if you eat cancer fighting foods, foods
Yes.
that support your immunity, all the foods that have the minerals, nutrients, and vitamins that you need, because you can be like, right now, I'm vitamin D deficient for some reason. As a vegan, you have to take B12 because there's no B12 unless it's like fortified nutritional yeast or something. So look at the nutrients, the vitamins, the minerals that you're putting in your body. And anything junky, it's an addiction and your body really doesn't want it. Now that I became vegan and my body is way pickier, like if I eat even something made out of soy, that my body is like, this is processed shit, sorry, I said shit, but that's okay. We can say shit. We just can't say the other words. This is processed stuff, and my body is like, we don't like it that much. But when I eat veggies and fruits and, beans and legumes, it's so happy. I can just tell. So you're doing your body a disservice by eating junk. You really are.
You're bringing up another really important point that I was going to wait, but I have to just say it now. There is a mind-gut connection. If
Yes.
you have depression, if you have anxiety, if you have
Mhm.
any mental health issues, and you are filling your body with processed food, sugar, caffeine, you are actually triggering
Mhm.
more depression, anxiety, and feelings of unwellness. So
Absolutely.
it's really interesting. Like, if you could say to people, um, like, I don't want you to make these changes because you've gotten sick or because you've gotten to a place where you've gained so much weight where now you actually have to make radical changes very, very quickly.
Mhm.
Like, putting in some healthier habits that are going to lend itself to your health and wellness long term. It's not that hard. And
Mm-mm.
I think if people can think about it, like, how can I set myself up for success now before it gets too late?
Yeah.
Before I start having, here are all the things that eating unhealthy can affect: your heart, your weight. I have
Everything.
degenerative disc disease. When I eat too much sugar, I am in physical pain every
Oh
day.
my goodness, because you're inflamed.
Yes, my
Yeah.
joints hurt.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
These are the things, do I
Mhm.
want to make myself more anxious, depressed, and in pain today? Or
No,
do I want to, make myself feel better? And it can be absolutely determined by what you put in your body.
100%. And let me tell you, and I'm not preaching veganism or whole plants, whole foods, plant based, but I stumbled into it because I knew that I was hormone positive, so I didn't want to eat animal products because they do have hormones and they inject them with hormones here. Probably in Argentina or in Italy or in Spain, I probably wouldn't worry that much. But I'm telling you, there's something about not eating animal products, like the hormones, the fear hormones when they kill them and all that, unalive them, excuse me, uh, that I have so much more peace and less anxiety than I used to
Hmm.
because of that. And that was an accident because I didn't, again, I just chose this because I didn't want to eat hormones.
Yeah.
But the side effect is if you give your body what it wants and needs, you're going to feel so much better. And veganism is not for everyone. It depends on your blood type. My blood type happens to be good for veganism. It actually is good with no animal products at all. Other blood types are not. So, but whatever your blood type is, look it up and see what makes your blood type, what is compatible with it. And I would focus on eating that. That's a very important thing I found out, again, by accident.
That is such a great, I never even heard about that. I'm O positive. I'm going to go and see
Check it
what.
out.
So what I focused on once I got serious about all this, I had my little health scare. So I had some inflammation. So I had to start thinking about, okay, well, what am I eating that's causing inflammation? What am I eating that's causing my joint pain to be worse?
Mhm.
And you start creating diets around what's going to make you feel better,
Yeah.
not what's going to make you feel worse. And truly, I hope for all that it isn't a medical intervention that gets you to think about this. Start doing the research now.
Sure.
Chat GPT is our best friend. Go
It
in there,
is.
look. And I want to talk about something else before we move on to the next segment. I don't want to forget. You
Yes.
know, we were talking about hormones.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what age you are, ladies. There are diets that will help your hormones, and there are diets that will hurt your hormones.
Yeah.
So I can be, uh, God, how much do I want to share? At times, I can be emotional.
Yeah. We know what it means.
So we want to really consider what are we putting in our bodies in those
Mhm.
times that are going to make this go better for me or make it go worse. And
Exactly.
my mom bought me a book at one time because I really felt that like some days, and I'm not that old, but I felt some days that my hormones were just like, this isn't even me in here. Like
Oh
who's
yeah, like Satan.
I'd be in a bad mood that I couldn't get out of
Terrible.
it,
I know,
or
or
I just
sad, super sad, right?
hate
You're
everybody around me
crying
for
for
no
nothing.
reason. So my mom bought me the hormone diet book, and guess
Oh,
what? I read it. And what it basically said was if you are eating these kinds of things, you are triggering your body into hormonal imbalances.
wow.
So, and it all comes back to that kind of Mediterranean diet, right? Dark green vegetables,
Yes,
fish, beans, legumes. It's all the same thing.
absolutely.
Now, I want to speak to the meat thing. So, I have not been able to formally give up meat. I want to. I think about it all the time.
Yeah.
The decision I made for my household is I do not purchase red meat.
Oh,
Um,
red meat is it increases your risk of colon cancer. I used to eat red meat and I asked my oncologist, "Hey, can I like eat once a week?" She was like, "No, once a month and you're still risking colon cancer and you're a cancer survivor." So she was like, "No." That's why I decided to go vegan anyway.
So
But
here's the thing. I want to speak to that, Grace. I'm
yeah.
anemic. So
Oh, get your iron for something from the veggies. There's a lot of
it's hard though. It's hard though.
it's
Every
hard
now
if you think it's hard, girl. Let me
and
tell
maybe.
you.
Maybe.
I had an iron deficiency because of the treatment,
Hmm.
and they gave me iron pills and they made me feel shitty. So I started being conscious of that. I think pumpkin seeds have it, spinach. There's a lot. Just Google like iron, and you'll see all the. No, seriously. I mean, like ChatGPT it, and you'll see how can I get my iron being a vegan or whatever, vegetarian, and it's going to tell you. You can get it. It's not hard. It's not hard at all. You can keep your levels of vitamins, minerals, and nutrients that you need in your body with only plant-based meals.
All right, fair enough. I still eat a steak from time to time.
I know that's okay. That's okay.
I can
Like,
purchase it myself.
well, yes. Well, to be honest, two things. If you want to decrease your cancer risk,
Hmm.
two things you got to eliminate completely out of your diet: processed meats,
Oh, that's
and
like hot dogs and
yeah, and
ham.
alcohol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you know what?
Alcohol increases your chances of cancer by 50%.
Should we talk about that for a second or move to the next segment?
Let's talk a little bit about that. Then I'll read the fan story and then we'll do a video. Let's go.
Okay. So as a recovering person, as an advocate, all the rest of it, it has to be said, schmalcohol is poison.
Yes,
And
literally.
I'm not saying
Ethanol.
this as an advocate. If you
Yeah.
want to drink safely.
Yeah.
Learn how to drink safely. I'm not saying you shouldn't drink, but I have learned from my research, from my studying, there's nothing good that alcohol is giving you.
Not at
There's
all.
no nutritional benefit. And this whole thing that from the 70s, my mom, like one glass of red wine, is fine when you're pregnant. It's not.
No, it's not. It has alcohol, which is, excuse me, alcohol, which is has ethanol, which is a poison to the body. That's
Yeah.
where you get alcohol poisoning.
Yeah.
Look at the ethanol.
And I'm not sitting here saying that everyone whose mom is having a glass of wine is going to have fetal alcohol syndrome. I'm not saying that. But what
No.
we are saying is the studies are in. Alcohol is bad for you. It
Yeah.
is poisonous. It absolutely causes very bad things to happen in your body.
Yep.
And if part of the emotional eating is from alcohol, because believe me, many, many years, this is a long time ago, but in the old days, believe me, when I was schmung over or had been out, that is when the McDonald's trips, that's when,
Yeah.
you will put anything in your body
Mhm.
to soak up that schmalcohol, to make you feel better the next day. So in my experience,
Yeah.
nothing good came from
No.
putting that in my body.
No.
So I just wanted to say that.
I like that. Thank you for sharing that. So here's a fan story. Luis from Miami. He says, I realized every time I fought with my girlfriend, I'd drive to Taco Bell. Not even hungry, just sad and scared and needing control. Yes, Luis, that's awareness, honey. And that's where the healing begins. By being aware, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
100%. All right, let's go to a video and then we'll go to segment número 3.
Navigating life in this increasingly complicated world is hard. From relationships to your mental and emotional health, life at work, your work-life balance, and then the second job of being in some kind of recovery from something. It can be overwhelming. We get it, we know it, and we have over 1,600 original articles, infographics, and a line of self-help books dedicated to helping you navigate life. Relationships, recovery, and behavioral health are our specialty. You can find dozens of viral articles on narcissism, codependency, signs of toxic family and friends, relapse prevention, managing depression, and so much more. So check us out at reachoutrecovery.com to support all your wellness needs.
All right. So do you want to tell us a little bit more about Reach Out Recovery?
Yeah, sure. I absolutely want to tell you more about Reach Out Recovery. So Reach Out Recovery is my little small business. We started it in 2011. We really began it to help people deal with the stigma of recovery recovery from addiction, alcoholism, mental health issues. Over the years, it's really grown. We
That's
have
amazing.
we have over 1,600 original articles on behavioral health, from codependency to relapse prevention to relationship wellness. If you have any questions, please go to Reach Out Recovery. Google your topic in the search bar, and there will be articles. We have a line of self-help books, and we now offer curriculums that go with those self-help books. If you are an educator, if you are a therapist, if you are somebody who works with teen programs, please, we would love to hear from you. We would love to send you samples, and we would love to know what your needs are. So Reach Out Recovery is a fully functioning website, small book publisher, and curriculum developer.
Awesome. By the way, little sidebar, my Whole Foods delivery is going to be coming soon. So I might just, turn off the camera and the mic for a second and go and make sure I receive it.
But you know what? That's great, because real life is how she's walking the walk. She had to get her Whole Foods delivery. It's coming right now. We're seeing it in real time.
Absolutely. There you go. And it's all vegan except for the zucchini bread and the chips, but that's okay. Which I probably eat today and between today and tomorrow.
Really funny.
But once a week, it's okay. And then I eat so healthy, it's stupid. All right. Segment number 3 is, what are you really craving? Ooh, this is juicy. Let's get into it.
Okay, so many of us confuse hunger for emotional starvation. So we're going to break down what unmet needs might be showing up as food cravings.
Yeah.
So, we talk about food being love, but sometimes we're eating because we're unloved.
Right.
So let's talk about some of the science. According to Dr. Susan Albers from the Cleveland Clinic, cravings are often symbolic. I actually hadn't seen this. I love this.
Yeah.
Crunchy can mean you're feeling anger or stress.
Ooh, that's my
chips. The pretzels, the popcorn, the salty snacks, sweet, comfort or love.
That is true. That is so true.
As we're sitting there on the TV shoveling that ice cream into my mouth, maybe I should be petting the dog or another.
That's a good realization. I like that.
Salty equals stimulation or boredom. Isn't that funny? Like, you ever had a moment where you're sitting there and
yeah, they're here. They're here. They're here. Go ahead. Keep talking.
Oh, okay. So it happens to me all the time that suddenly, like, I want a pizza. So a pizza is a go-to food for me. So, if you're feeling bored and you suddenly realize, hey, I want something salty, or I want to just munch, you may actually just be bored, and you might want to look for an activity. So here are the practical tips that go around this behavior. First of all, we said it before, but the biggest thing when it comes to changing any behavior, Grace,
yes.
I don't care if you are drinking. I don't care if you are gambling.
Schmexing.
Whatever you are doing.
Yes.
The trick is, when you want to do it, you have to pause.
Yeah.
That is how you change your behavior. So can you pause? Can you try journaling before you eat? Ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? What do I actually need? And what will happen if I sit for 10 minutes? So one of the things that was really important for me to learn about addiction recovery is cravings only last 15 minutes.
They do? Wow. And
yes.
I love that, the talking to yourself, because we all kind of do it, but
yes.
we convince ourselves, yes, we have to eat this right now. Yes. I don't care. Y'all start, eating healthy tomorrow. But sometimes, personally, I don't know about you, but sometimes when I crave sweets and I'm like, ooh, I would love some banana bread or something. Maybe I can stop by Starbucks or whatever, drive-through, which is easy. And then I'm like, really? No, because then, I start listing, okay, I'm going to get refined sugars, which are not good. I'm going to gain weight, then I'm going to have to exercise more. And it's not good for, a cancer survivor to be eating that stuff. So maybe I can replace that craving with fruits. What do I have in the refrigerator? And then I'll eat a banana or I'll eat whatever. And that usually takes care of it. But you have to really stop and think before you act.
Right. And I've got a few more tricks up my sleeve that I
Go
added.
for it.
And I mentioned a few of them before, but these are really, really important. If you are committed to making change, get a buddy. We
Nice.
No one should be doing any of this alone. I mean, this is what the whole Weight Watchers thing was about. And it was so successful because it used the recovery group format. So, whether you're trying to exercise, whether you're trying to stay sober, nothing will get you there faster than doing it with another person.
Yes.
So, if you have somebody, and when I say get a buddy, it isn't having somebody you're scared to call. This is somebody you are texting with every day. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Sometimes you're like,
Yeah.
oh, I'll get a running buddy. But then you're like, I don't want to bother them. I don't, no, 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 no. No,
Right. Yeah.
this is
This is a
somebody
friend that you can text at any time, right?
but they also understand the concept. It's something called bookending. We also do it in recovery.
Oh,
So if I have to do something today that I don't want to do, and you're my buddy on this, I'm going to text you in the morning and say, "Oh, Grace, shoot, today's the day I have to go to the DMV. I promise I'm going to do it." And you're going to write me back and say, "Do not call me again until you went to the DMV."
yeah.
And that's your job. And you understand that as my buddy, that you're going to keep me accountable and that I'm actually can't keep this up if I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And
Yeah.
generally, you do it with somebody who's on the same path. So you're going, Lindsey, if I don't go to Whole Foods today and pick up my healthy food, so then at the end of the day, we check in. And
Yeah.
every morning and every night, you're in contact with this person. And when it's going really well, you might be in contact with them throughout the day. But this is somebody who is committed to being a part of this. You're close to them, they understand how it works. And they even have the interest in this process that if they don't hear from you, they're going to check in and go, Lindsey, I have not heard from you. It is 3 p.m. on the East Coast. Did you go to the DMV today? Because, it takes work. But we can find people who will do the work with us.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Community is very important in life in general.
huge.
Yes.
So,
Should we read the fan story?
yeah. Go ahead.
All right. So Sasha from Austin, she says, I realized I was binging at night, not because I was hungry, but because it was the only time of day I felt emotionally alone. Wow. Thank you for your honesty, Sasha. That's what this podcast is all about, recognizing the real hunger underneath. This is what this episode is about, right? Just knowing why you're craving these things. And she nailed it.
So, can we also say something? I think it's really important. It's okay to be lonely.
Yes.
I think we get in these habits, and part of what happens is there's some shame. I
Yeah.
feel lonely. What am
Yeah.
I going to do to feel better? And then having to admit, oh, I'm doing this because I feel lonely. There's something kind of like shameful about it. And I think whenever we're talking about recovery, whenever we're talking about new habits, we have to take the shame out of it.
Yeah.
We live in a society, I think we have a loneliness epidemic. I really do. So I have no judgment about people who are drinking or eating or doing whatever to feel better right now. Where
Mhm.
we come in is if that isn't getting you the effect you're looking for,
Yeah.
if you realize these are unhealthy habits and you want to change them, that's where kind of we come in. But there's no shame in saying, listen, when I'm in a relationship, I'm not there with 2 things of popcorn. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
So,
Unless
it's
you're unhappy. When I was unhappy in my marriage, I ate everything.
oh, fair enough. But,
Yeah.
the idea is when we are happy, when we
Yeah.
are with other people, and I have found I live in Florida now. I live across the street from my mom. We do some meals together. I have not had some of the kind of slips that I used to have when I was living in California.
Wow.
I have more community around me here.
Absolutely. Community is so important. And before we move into the next segment, let me show another video. This is going to be our last video. And then we'll do 2 more segments and we'll be done. It's been an hour, but this is a great topic and we need to talk about it. We need to address it. And if you guys have any comments or any questions or anything you want to tell us, which I see now. Oh, hi, Betrayed by Sins. How are you, sweetheart? Thank you. I know the emojis don't show for some reason on Restream, but thank you for the heart. I appreciate it so much. So we are going to go into 2 more segments and then we'll do some closing thoughts. And remember to like, subscribe, comment, and share. Okay? All right, let's go to the video and then we'll be back. Let me guess. You've been in a relationship that felt like a roller coaster, except you weren't strapped in, and now you're dizzy as hell. Sound familiar? Yeah, I see you, honey. If you've ever been love bombed, gaslit, or stuck in a situationship that felt like an unpaid internship, you, my friend, deserve better. Let's break the cycle. I help you spot toxic patterns, heal from narcissistic abuse, and step into your power like the king or the queen that you are. No more chasing, no more fixing, no more, but maybe they'll change nonsense. Whether you're fresh out of a breakup, wondering if you're dating another red flag in disguise, or just ready to find love without the drama, I got you. Book a one-on-one session with me and let's create a love life that's actually fun instead of an episode of Survivor Toxic Island. Well, here is to healing, to healthy love, and to knowing your worth, baby. Cheers. Of course, the cheers were just water. Spring water, to be exact. All right, let's go to segment number 3. No, 4. 4. Yay, 2 more segments. Okay. How to break the cycle without shame. All right. Give us the tea. What is this all about?
All right. Well, we've kind of got delved into it, so we'll be able to get through this one pretty quickly. It really comes down to practical tools. So if you're going to build something, you have instructions. If you follow the instructions, your item gets built. If you do not follow the instructions, what happens, Grace?
Then it doesn't get built.
That's correct. That's correct.
Yay, I'm so smart.
So these are tools, which means you have to use them, but they will work if you use them. So first of all, we've talked about pausing. Well, how do you actually do it? Put a sticky note on your fridge.
That's a great idea.
What am I really hungry for? So that's a really big one. You know, if you have a habit of just going to the food, well, then you have to lock up the food. Or put reminders on the cabinets. You can child lock your cabinets, but anything that kind of puts in one extra step. You know, when you're trying to sell things online, they're like, don't make them do an extra click. Once somebody has to think it through, you're not going to do it. It's the same thing. If you are forced to unlock something and you have locked it to keep you out of there, you know you are actively breaking a commitment to yourself.
Yes.
So, what am I really hungry for? And maybe you write it everywhere. You know, put it in your fridge, put it on the snack thing, put it on your phone. Like what? Be really mindful. So, mindful eating means you're eating, it can mean a lot of different things, but we're going to talk about a few. So, snacking throughout the day can be a really bad habit. Mindful eating means planning the meal, cooking the meal, eating the meal at the table, chewing slowly.
That's important.
Savoring your food, being really aware of what's going on and listening to your body. A lot of this recovery stuff is about listening to your body and saying, you know what? I've actually eaten 3/4 of my dinner and I'm full.
Yeah.
And when you can start to listen to your body, that's really, really important. The other thing is distractions. you need other activities. You talked about replacement foods, but you need other activities that are going to soothe you.
I love that. Yeah.
So what does that look like? Journals, coloring books, music. Why does it say lotion on here?
I have no idea. Don't ask me.
Lotion. I don't know.
I am
But
not,
you know
we're
what?
not going to go down that rabbit hole
Let's
because it
think
can
about
mean a
that
lot
for
of
a second.
things.
So this was one of our prescribed tips that came from our research. I wonder if the act of we talk about
Like
this in
doing this.
Al-Anon.
Oh, yeah. You know what? Wait. No, I get it. I literally have, let me show you, creams around. I even have castor oil because it's good for your skin. By the way, you can get this at my Amazon store. I'm going to put the Amazon store here. I have an influencer store, and you can get all my favorite things from Amazon.
Ooh.
So yes, and I have it right here. So yeah, and I have the castor oil. I also have rose oil.
It's a loving act to put
Yes.
something on yourself, and you're touching yourself.
And this smells, they smell so good. These smell delicious. So it's like your sense of smell, your body, you're touching, you're putting something that's nourishing for your body. So yeah, that's why the lotion. And I love that we're spending like 5 minutes on the lotion, but we solved the mystery.
The one of the biggest ones, connection. So
Yes.
whether it's the buddy, whether it's a friend, whether it's a family member, getting your emotional connection in the ways
Totally.
that you need to be getting it instead of, food. Okay. I just want to, my last ones, and then we can move into the fan story is, again, we don't do this alone. My life was changed by going on eating plans, and they were not expensive. I'm not talking about having a private chef cooking. These they've become very affordable, these green chef kind of things, and you can pick your diet. And then I absolutely recommend talking to professionals. If this is a serious issue, talk to a professional, get a coach, get some help.
100%. Yes. I'm just like swatting bugs because I left the door open after the delivery and they're entering. I didn't realize that. Anyway,
you want to go close the door?
I might want to. Yes.
All right.
You read the fan story.
All right. I'll read the fan story. So this is Jordan from Portland. So Jordan said, I started leaving myself voice notes instead of reaching for snacks. Sometimes I still ate, but the difference was I was present, and eventually I needed it less. That's actually a great story. And it's I think the moral is that presence is power. When we're paying attention to what's going on, then we have some control. When we're on autopilot, and we're just in that, kind of, I'm not even thinking about it and I'm doing it, I'm not hungry, that's when we get into trouble. So, this is really about, taking small actions that will make a big difference. And whether the action is removing the foods from your house or making it a little hard to get to them, or planning out your meals in advance. This is where shopping for the week becomes really important. All of these things, if you do them, and not for 2 weeks, 3 months. 3 months is how you make change. I don't even believe in 30 days. I think
that's too short. Yeah. It took me months to transition from eating everything to being vegan.
Yeah. I mean, I was still climbing the walls after 60 days when I gave up sugar the first time.
Yeah.
It's not enough time for your body to reset. You really have to do this stuff for months. And I promise you, if you keep it up for months, the first time you put a piece of candy in your mouth, you'll be like, what is that?
Gross.
It doesn't
I know.
taste right anymore.
Yeah, no, it's gross. Like if I eat something that has a lot of sugar, I am grossed out and all I can taste is the sugar. And I'm like, this is disgusting.
Yeah.
Did you read the fan story?
I did. We're ready for segment 5.
Yay. Okay. Segment 5. We're almost there, guys. This is a very important topic. So hang in there. Stay with us. And segment 5 is from self-soothing to self-loving. What is this about, Lindsey? I like this.
Okay. Everything we do at Reach Out Recovery and everything you and I do, Grace, it's about taking the shame out of it. Okay. So emotional eating isn't the enemy, it's an
Right.
outdated survival strategy.
I
So
like
what
that.
we Yeah, so what we want to talk about is replacing it with real self-love. So even though you feel like you're comforting yourself with food, if you're comforting
Mhm.
yourself with bad food, you're doing the exact opposite. So what does real self-love look like? It looks like affirmations, reminding
Yes.
yourself every day, I deserve to be heard, not silenced with food.
Yes.
I'm allowed to feel without numbing. Again, coming back to it's okay to be lonely. It's okay to be
Yes.
sad. It's okay to hate being sober. But
Yes.
don't stuff yourself with other bad things to feel better. Do something,
Absolutely.
you can feel good with natural highs. Remember, I feed my soul with truth, not feeding my body with snacks.
I like that.
And it sounds woo woo, but if you're standing at the snack drawer at 11 p.m. and somebody said to you on a megaphone, "Are you feeding your body with love or snack?" You might stop and think about it.
No, I might just get out of the window and say, "Shut up." That's what
So
I
I,
would do. I
so I
want my snack now.
I was deeply offended when I saw a TikTok or a reel that said people who love long hot showers often are lacking physical comfort. And I was
What?
like I take a long hot shower at least once a day. I think it's because I have a lot of physical pain. Nothing feels
Oh, yeah.
better than being in hot water. But I thought it was really funny to say that. So I disagree completely.
Yeah.
Take a warm bath, take a warm
Yes.
shower, get that feeling of comfort from something else.
Yes.
Again, call a friend. We absolutely recommend you learn how to meditate
Oh,
because
that is so good.
if you can get through that 15-minute craving, you won't want it anymore. So, what activities can you do for 15 minutes? Um, somebody wrote dance party. So, I have to be in a certain mood to have a dance party. I don't know about you, Grace.
Who wrote Dance Party?
I don't know. What?
I'm like in the comments. Oh, yeah,
No,
I
no,
see
it's it's in our thing. So at one point, one of us wrote that, but I think it's funny. Like, here's the thing: I have certainly had dance parties in my house.
Yeah,
On
but you can have it on your own.
No,
Like,
that's what I mean.
oh
On my
yeah, yeah, you
own.
can just I do it all the time.
Oh, you do?
And I dance so terribly, but I think I'm like just grooving. Yeah. It's sad. When I pass by a mirror, I'm like, okay, let's just cover that mirror because I'm not dancing well. But I feel like you feel so liberated when you
Yeah, you do.
dance.
It feels really good.
Yeah,
So on that note, I would also add any kind of class, yoga,
yeah,
art, exercise, anything you can do to get that burst from something other than food.
100%. Yes,
So the big takeaways: connection,
yes,
paying attention to what you actually want in that moment, and remembering that a lot of this is just symbolic for something else.
absolutely. And if emotional eating has been your go-to for years, I want you guys to know this. You're not weak. You're just human, okay? You're brilliant for surviving. And now you're ready to thrive. So every bite, every craving, every moment of awareness, it's a breadcrumb back to yourself. You don't have to fight your body, you just have to listen to your heart. So remember to subscribe, like, share, and comment. Share this episode with someone who needs to hear that you're not alone in this. And support the podcast by supporting us. Reach Out Recovery. I'm going to take this out so they can see your website, reachoutrecovery.com. And for me, you can actually subscribe if you want to my Patreon for funny content and also relationship coaching content. It's all paywall, so it's nobody's seen it but my Patreons. So here it is, patreon.com/the state of Grace Fraga. Everything with me is the state of Grace Fraga. Everything with Lindsey is Reach Out Recovery. So thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you in a month, right?
Yes.
Amazing.